My dear brothers and sisters, in his pastoral letter, our Archbishop Philip Neri Ferrão has placed before us some pastoral concerns based on the theme of this pastoral year, Stay with Us. Today, we will be reflecting on the second pastoral concern, serve humanity by transcending all differences. On our pastoral letter, alongside this point, we see a beautiful imagery. And in this imagery, we find a heart. Enclosed in this heart, we find different symbols of different religions. So different religions together in love, unity among all religions. The heart, the commandment of love, is the heart of every religion, is at the center of every religion. Without love, a religion cannot be what it is. The love of God, the love of man. And this is the love that we need to take into our lives. This is the love that we need to appreciate and we need to make it our own. The rays from the heart. This union of love must lead towards the service of humanity. These rays that are radiant must reach out. So we see different images of various kinds of service. Firstly, service of the old. There are so many people who are old in our own homes. There are so many people who are old around us. But when we serve these old people, how is our reaction to different types of old people? Say an old person is from a rich family, wearing good clothes, well dressed, well mannered, we try to be of service to that person. But at the same place, if an old person is wearing tattered clothes, we try to refrain from being of service. When as a seminarian, I would go to visit some of our families, that time I saw some families where the old people were made to stay outside in the gallery or a small storeroom wherein they are living comfortably in their homes, but this old person, their own family member, is suffering because of no comforts at all, maybe not even giving them good food. So this kind of a differentiation, this kind of a difference that we make between different type of people based on the pre-notions that we have in mind is what is causing us to not be of service. Service towards the differently abled. There are many differently abled children, youth, who maybe can't do the things the way we do. But there are many things in which they are smart and they do those things much better than us. But these are the children, these are the youth who need our love. These are the people who actually want us to spend time with them. If you go to various centers for such people where they learn to be useful, learn to be making a difference, being differently abled. If you go to such centers, you will see the love that they crave for, the time that they want you to spend with them. And these are the differently abled whom we need to be of service. Service towards our nature. There are so many beautiful things around us that God has created. The plants, wonderful trees, the birds in the air, the fish, the animals, such beautiful things, the creation, the mountains, and all these things are given in our hand. Man is made a custodian of all these things. So being of service towards nature means protecting this nature of us, protecting this environment. Then we see service towards the people who are suffering injustice. There are many people who are struggling in the court of law. Many of their cases are dismissed just because they do not have maybe money to pay the lawyers. Many of the celebrities, their children, their sons, daughters, they are so much into all various kinds of unjust practices, or they may get into some difficulties or some injustice done towards them, and immediately their problem is resolved. But whereas a poor person who can't pay for these lawyers, for the advocates, who can't file his own case, this person struggles and is not served justice. So service towards the poor people as well. Many people are marginalized in our society, and such people need our care. They need our support. While traveling in a bus, one person who was suffering, who was begging, and another person who was sitting in front of me from the bus window, he peeped towards that child who was begging and said to that child, "Why are you begging? Can't you work and earn for yourself?" And that time I said to myself, how harsh is this man towards this person who is begging, this child? Instead of asking that child, "You have no work," this person should have been the one who to provide some job opportunity to this child. I felt like asking that person, "Have you given any job opportunity to that child?" But I refrained from doing so. So my dear friends, service towards the poor, not just pitying them, but being of service. Service in the families, parents being of service towards children, children being of service towards families. So in such a scenario, the children, the parents need to be of service towards each other, reaching out to each other in their needs. We can indulge in such a selfless service only when keeping aside all these differences, or rather transcending all these differences, we will start serving humanity. Every religion is at the service of humanity. Hence, our bishop is harping on this point, that one should not place one's religion above humanity, above one's nation, above one's ethnicity. He adds, religion is at the service of these all. So the one who places religion above humanity does not hesitate to kill another human person in the name of God. So when religion or nation is placed above humanity, man indulges into religious fundamentalism and aggressive nationalism. When you place your religion, your nation, and your ethnicity above humanity, you end up closing yourself to the moral, religious, and cultural treasures of the other. So there are so many treasures in various religions, in various cultures, in various nations, and all these treasures we fail to receive because we have a different mindset, because we are placing religion above everything else. That is why Jesus is telling us in Matthew chapter 12 verse 7, "I desire mercy and not sacrifice." There are many traditions that we follow, many cultures, but these all cultures and everything is futile if I do not show mercy to my neighbor. Jesus wants us to transcend all our differences and reach out to those in need of our help. Many a time, while reaching out to others, we first bring to our minds their nation, their hometown, their name. Based on that, we try to decipher which religion is this person from, based on their name, based on their dressing style, their speaking style, whether that person is my friend, my neighbor. All such notions we bring to our mind and we pass a judgment. And based on that, we serve. We at times end up being so pragmatic. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. I will reach out only if that person will reach out to me. This kind of a mindset our bishop wants us to change, to not think about the differences, but to just show mercy as Jesus wants. A person of another religion is not going to reach out to me. So we move around with such preconceived notions. I came across this video on YouTube. One Sikh person was traveling by flight alongside a foreigner woman with her son. This woman was so uncomfortable with this man's presence just because he was a Sikh. She even moved her son to the other side. As the flight began, this man started praying and this woman was like, is he conspiring against me? Is he conspiring towards everyone in this plane? Something bad will happen because of this man. And this man, understanding the situation, responds by getting himself a different seat. Now this boy was busy eating sunflower seeds. He had stuffed so many seeds in his mouth that he choked and couldn't breathe. This woman started crying for help. Who will reach out to her? And this Sikh man, who happened to be a doctor, he did what he had to do in order to relieve this boy of his ordeal. Seeing this, the mother was shocked. She was surprised. And in such a situation, shamefully, she thanked this Sikh man. And accepting her mistake, she apologized. We see that this man didn't hesitate to render his service to the distressed boy. He didn't see whether the boy was a foreigner, whether he was a Sikh, whether he was of a different religion, whether he is transcending all the differences. He saw the mother and her son in distress. Let us ask ourselves, are we like this woman who judged this man based on his religion, nature, nation and culture? Or are we like this man who, transcending all differences, reached out? What kind of an attitude do I hold? What kind of a mindset do I have when I reach out to others? Do I judge others based on my preconceived notions? Let us ask ourselves and challenge ourselves with this. The greatness of a nation, of a religion, of a culture lies in embracing every human person by transcending all religious, national and ethnic differences. My dear friends, in Luke chapter 10 in the Gospel, we see the Good Samaritan who reaches out to the person who is in distress, who reaches out to his neighbor. My dear friends, in this parable of the Good Samaritan that Jesus presents before us, we see how the priest and the Levite, they go first ahead. They see this person suffering, but yet they feel pity, but they do not be of service because they had some other engagements to take care of. And they did not want to fall into risk, because a person, when he is found like this suffering in the hillside, that person is normally maybe acting so that the vandals and thieves can attack the person who goes to help. So this was the risk. And yet this Good Samaritan, Luke chapter 10, we find how he not only shows pity, but moves ahead and shows mercy, goes in service of this person. He is not bothered about what is happening or what will happen to him, but he is bothered that if he doesn't provide his service, what will happen to this human suffering, to this person who is suffering, what will happen to him? This is the thought that we need to appreciate, that we need to make our own. Let us make this thought of ours our own. That is not indifference towards the suffering of the other, but being of service and acknowledging that the person is suffering. Today, religion has become one of the causes of human suffering. Wars are fought in the name of religion. Human life is taken away in the name of religion. It is unjust to trample upon the humanity of another in order to safeguard your religion, your nation, or your ethnicity. The purpose of every religion is to help man grow spiritually, and the one who is spiritually enriched works towards fulfilling the dreams of bringing forth a new humanity. This new humanity, by transcending all barriers, embraces the entire humankind. So today, my dear friends, as our Archbishop Philip Neri Ferrão is calling us to transcend all the differences, all the barriers, to make no difference and embrace the entire humankind in service. Being of service, transcending all these differences is not easy, my dear friends. And therefore, let us ask Jesus to stay with us.